Okay, this is the Bernard's Brewing. I've got a pale ale that I made a couple weeks ago. And in here, I've got a blonde ale. This is my fermentation system. And what I've done is I've taken two 15-gallon kegs with the two Sanke valves. On this Sanke valve, I've got a dip tube that is trimmed up about an inch. Now, if there's any sediment on the bottom, it's not going to get, a lot of it's not going to get sucked up into my secondary. Secondary tube is maybe about half an inch trimmed, so that if there's any sediment left over from the secondary, it's not going to get sucked up into my transfer to the kegs. So what happens here is I've got, on a regular Sanke setup, you're going to put your gas in here and the liquid comes out on this end. However, for fermentation, the gases I've got coming out of this gas outlet, and I've got it going into the liquid side. From here, it goes out this gas side, and I've got this tube that goes down into a water trap, and that keeps my environment nice and clean. So basically, when I ferment, I've got the CO2 going into this vessel. It creates a CO2 atmosphere, and it's trapped with the airlock. Now, the reason I like that is because when you transfer, every time you touch it and you cause movement, you're going to have sediment floating around in your beer or in your wort, whatever. So I stop that by leaving this here stationary. Don't touch anything. When I do the transfer, it should be as clear as it could possibly get. And on the secondary, in the CO2 environment, I'm not going to get any air to it. So what has to happen is I have to take off the CO2 outlet and put it on this liquid side. Then I'm going to take my CO2 bottle and attach that to the gas in. So it only takes like 5 psi. So I've got 5 psi set on here. It puts pressure here and it forces the liquid out into my secondary. And that's basically it. Nothing gets touched, nothing gets disturbed. CO2 environment. From primary to secondary, there's no atmospheric contamination possible. So let's go ahead and do the transfer, I think. Wait a minute. And cut.